Hello everyone. I am your host with an amazing brand new video in which we will talk about top 10 poisonous, deadliest, and venomous fish in America. First of all, be sure to subscribe our YouTube channel for more informative videos. Except for sharks, the majority of fish species that are potentially dangerous to humans are not particularly aggressive or view humans as possible meals. Instead, they are dangerous, or even deadly, because they are venomous and, in most cases, sting when walked on or handled. Others have the potential to be harmful when consumed and are covered in a different article, the deadliest fish, when ingested. Number 10. Stingray. Stingrays live in shallow water, primarily in tropical areas but sometimes in Arctic and boreal areas. Although the various species' ray shapes are distinctive, their colors frequently make them difficult to see until they are swimming. Stingrays attack with whip-like tails that have one or more spines on them to defend themselves. Because the spines are barbed, they can seriously gash the skin, and roughly 2/3 of species have venomous spines. The spines can pierce wetsuits and leather shoes, and they have been known to seriously injure or even kill those unlucky enough to be stabbed in the chest, like the famous herpetologist, Steve Irwin. Stingrays primarily present a risk to those wading, who frequently sustain leg injuries, as well as to irresponsible fishermen and divers, who occasionally receive lashings from startled stingrays as they swim above them. Number 9. Zebra fish. The majority of scorpion fish are marine creatures that inhabit the reefs of the Pacific and Indian Oceans. The hundreds of species range in size from 30 to 90 centimeters, 1 to 3 feet, have long, wavy fins and spines, and are typically reddish. They include many of the world's most venomous species and deliver an excruciatingly painful sting. Though certain species can be found worldwide, the majority of lionfish live in the tropical Indo-Pacific region. Even the warmer coral areas of the eastern Atlantic Ocean near the Azores and extending into the Mediterranean Sea, as well as the Caribbean Sea, have recently seen lionfish sightings. This introduction might be the result of Hurricane Andrew destroying an aquarium in southern Florida. Although lionfish come in a variety of colors: red, green, crimson, navy green, brown, orange, yellow, black, maroon, or white, they always have a characteristic striped pattern and very long, spaced apart spines. Number 8. Spinefoot. Spinefoot, chimera, and Siganus fish, also known as rabbitfish, family Siganidae, order Perciformes, the Pacific and Indian Oceans, as well as the eastern Mediterranean, have a high concentration of reefs and shallow lagoons where rabbitfish can be found. Some species live alone, while others live in schools, and they are active during the day. They are typically brightly colored or have intricate patterns, measuring an average of around 30 centimeters in length, though some are barely 10 centimeters, and have very sharp spines in their fins. They also have little rabbit-like lips and enormous, black eyes. The venomous spines can cause excruciating agony. Number 7. Weaver fish. The lesser weaver, which is responsible for the majority of human stings, is widespread and can be found from the southern North Sea to the Mediterranean. It is particularly prevalent along the southern coasts of the United Kingdom and Ireland, the Atlantic coasts of France and Spain, and the northern coast of the Mediterranean. The 8 species of weavers are primarily found in tropical waters. These around 30 centimeters long, somewhat thin fish are primarily brownish. Their entire body is covered in venomous spines that can inflict excruciating agony. Weavers hide in the sand during the day, usually in shallow waters, particularly in the case of the smaller weaver, often not even being much more than moist sand, and snatch prey, small fish and shrimp, as it passes by. When people mistakenly step on buried fish, the majority of injuries are to the foot. Stings are also frequently found on the hands and buttocks. Stings are excruciatingly unpleasant and result in throbbing pain, swelling, and tremors in the area that is stung. They can also induce numbness, nausea, migraines, joint pain, abdominal cramps, lightheadedness, and increased urine. Rarely, victims experienced more serious signs and symptoms such as irregular heartbeats, weakness, seizures, low blood pressure, unconsciousness, and tissue deterioration. Number 6. Stonefish. The Pacific and Indian Ocean's tropical waters are home to stonefish. These fish, which measure 30 centimeters, 1 foot, in length and lie on the seafloor while attempting to ambush shrimp and tiny fish by mimicking an encrusted rock, are extraordinarily well hidden. From exposed sand and mud at tidal inlets to depths of 40 meters, they are present. Stonefish are particularly harmful to humans due to their mysterious coloring and hunting style. Indeed, these fish have developed 13 defensive spines along their backs to defend themselves from bottom-feeding sharks and rays. When trodden on, the sheath behind the spines is compressed, causing the associated glands to release venom into the wound. It then takes a few weeks for the glands to regenerate and recharge. It can be unbearably painful and last for hours. Temporary paralysis, shock, and occasionally even death may follow it. Number 5. Catfish. A wide variety of bony fish includes catfish. Catfish vary in size from the biggest, the Mekong giant catfish from Southeast Asia, to the longest, the Wells catfish from Eurasia, to the smallest Kandaru, Vandellia serosa, a parasitic species. However, certain species of catfish have no barbels, hence their common name. Except for Antarctica, catfish species can be found in inland or coastal waters on every continent. However, they are most prevalent and diversified in tropical South America, with smaller populations in Africa and Asia. All of these fish may sting, and doing so can be painful and, in extreme cases, particularly with the species Plotisis lineatus, even result in collapse and death. Even specimens that have been chilled should be handled carefully since the venom in the spines can still be active for days. Number 4. Toadfish. The tropical waters off the shores of South and Central America are home to toadfish. The majority of species are marine, although those belonging to the Thalassophryninae subfamily, in particular, can also be found in brackish and freshwater settings. Toadfish have a wide mouth, a dull color, and a length of 17.5 to 25 centimeters, approximately 2/3 foot. Their toad-like look is the source of both their English and scientific names. The capacity to sing using their swim bladder as a sound generator to attract mates is another trait they have in common with toads. To ambush their prey, toadfish bury themselves in the sand, but they are vulnerable to being trodden upon. On their dorsal fins, they all have extremely sharp spines. In the subfamily Thalassophryninae, these spines are hollow and connected to venom glands that can inflict a terrible wound on predators and naive waders. Number 3. Kandaru. With a length of about 1 inch, Kandaru is a small but deadly fish that you should stay away from at all times. They are parasitic freshwater catfish that are local to the Amazon basin, and their translucent body makes them hard to spot. Kandaru is blood eaters with small heads and bodies that can enlarge after meals. Although they typically reside in the gills of larger fish, they have also been observed swimming up into human urethras. Due to the spines on their gills, which point backward, they are challenging to remove once they have entered the urethra. Kandaru then lay eggs in the bladder, feed on the mucous membranes and blood, and eventually cause death if not removed. Number 2. Giant tigerfish. The most hazardous fish in Africa is thought to be the Goliath tigerfish. The Congo River basin is home to these freshwater fish, which are fierce predators that eat just about anything they can grab. With their massive, projecting teeth, Goliath tigerfish, sometimes known as the African piranha, are very terrifying. The only freshwater fish in Africa that are actively known to attack people are Goliath tigerfish. These vicious predators, which may weigh up to 130 pounds, frequently attack unsuspecting swimmers. Number 1. Red Lionfish. Any of the numerous colorful species of spectacular Indo-Pacific fishes in the scorpion fish family, Scorpenidae, are referred to as lionfishes, terroir, order Scorpeniformes. They are renowned for having venomous fin spines that can puncture the skin and cause painful but rarely deadly wounds. The fish have lengthened dorsal fin spines and larger pectoral fins, and each species has its distinctive pattern of pronounced, zebra-like stripes. The fish spread out and show off their fins when startled, and if forced further, they will present an attack with their dorsal spines. How was the video? Did you like it? Please feel free to leave comments and remember to subscribe to our channel.